Hello everyone, and I'm Kudzie Mapiye. On this channel, I do videos about my life in Australia, and I also share different life lessons that I've learned along the way. And today's video, we're going to be talking about life in Australia, why Australia is not for everyone. And just going to talk about a few points that I think people should know before they consider moving to Australia. And these are some lessons that I've learned during my time here. And the first thing is Australia is very far away. And I know that people know that looking at the map, Australia is very far away. But I don't think I fully understood just how far Australia was until I actually moved here. It takes me at least 20 hours to go back to Zimbabwe on a plane. And that is just minimum. Like it can take up to 30 hours to go back to Zimbabwe. And it's very far away and very far away from other countries as well, like the UK, America. Australia is an island like on the Asia Pacific, and it's far away from the rest of the world. So that's something that's very important to know for people who are considering moving to Australia. Really research how far away is it from your home country. And for me, I was so distracted by everything else I wanted to do in Australia. I came here to study. I was focused on what my life's going to be like. And I really didn't consider the distance. And it took me a few years for me to go back home after I moved to Australia because it is so far away. That means it's also very expensive to fly back. And talking like pre-COVID times, it used to cost at least $1,800 for a return ticket from Australia to Harare in Zimbabwe. So it, took me a few years to be able to go back home as a student. So, it's something that's very important to know. And sometimes you might feel like you are stuck. I know people who have not been back home in decades even, because Australia is very, very far away and it's not always easy to travel back home, especially if you have a family. Like I have a family of 4 and it would take us almost $10,000 if we're to consider flying back home. So that is a lot of money and it can be out of reach for a lot of people. So that's one important thing to know before you consider moving to Australia. The second thing is that people work hard in Australia. And what I mean by this is you work hard at work. The break times are very strict. So I have worked both in Australia and Zimbabwe. And I know in Zimbabwe, sometimes the break times are not very strict. And I mean like lunch break, morning tea break, like people can extend their break. It's possible here, but usually people do stick to some time, like strict time frames when it comes to their break. So you are working the majority of the time you are at work. You are busy and you are working. And when you come from work and you go home, you have to work hard as well. Like I have kids, I have to prepare for them to go to school. I have to do their homework, help them with their homework and do all those other things, including making dinner, cleaning the house. So it is a very busy country. And majority of the people here do not have the luxury of having live-in help. Unless, of course, you are earning some serious coin, which is not the majority of the people. And, that is basically the life that is the normal life for a lot of people in Africa. They have live-in help or they have help pretty much whenever they need it. Here, it's not very possible for a lot of people because of the cost. So you usually have to do everything by yourself, taking care of the kids, cleaning the house, doing outside, the lawns, everything that you need to do inside and outside of the house, it's all on you. So you have to be prepared to work and to work hard. So that's something that you need to consider before you move to Australia. And the last thing, and this one is specifically for couples. If you're going to move to Australia as a family, you need to really be prepared for a different type of life. And I'm specifically talking to my people from Africa on this one, and anyone who has a similar culture to that, where the roles of women and men are very different. Like in Zimbabwe, the roles of men and women are quite different. Women are more the ones who do the work in the house, and men have, a more, laid back role in the house. I mean, not at work. Like, men usually don't do the house chores like cleaning, cooking, and taking care of the kids and all that. But in Australia, if you really want to have a healthy relationship, you need to have division of labor inside the house. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very hard for one person in that relationship. You need to share almost everything: cooking, dishes, washing, laundry, cleaning, bathing the kids, doing homework, school pickup, school drop off. You really have to work as a team if your relationship is going to survive in Australia. And I think some people underestimate just how serious this is. Because we have to do most of the things by ourselves, we really need to work as a team. And in order to maintain strong family structure, like, you can't have one person drowning. You both have to pitch in and kind of do 50-50 when it comes to household chores. So that's one important thing to know about Australia. And I know this can be, very different, a bit of a culture shock for some people, but it's better to be prepared. And a good thing to do is, if you are considering moving to Australia, start practicing while you are wherever you are before you move. See if you can have that division of labor. See if you can work as a team. And that way you don't have to really start from scratch when you move to Australia. So those are some important things that I think are important for people to know before moving to Australia. And if you think that, this is probably not going to work for me, then maybe Australia is not the country for you, because it's always good to be happy where you are. It's not all about, moving countries. And sometimes people might romanticize the idea of living overseas, being in another country. But there are some things that are involved that are quite serious that you need to consider before moving. So hopefully that's been helpful for anyone who's considering moving to Australia. And if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.